is going on, YouTube, everyone? I just wanted to bring the attention of the Bill Cosby story and how I felt like the incidents. I feel like if he did do something wrong back 30 years ago, then why is it they want to bring up an old charge from a 30-year-old incident from the 70s? Now, in my legal experience and knowing about the stuff and learning about how, because like I said, I've always been a big Bill Cosby fan, no question. But my biggest thing with it is I feel like if you're going to accuse a man of a charge over 30 years and you're going to sit there and you're going to put the man on trial because of something that was 30 years ago, anybody can get charged for something no matter how old it is and if he was even brought up. The honest thing about it was is how late it was brought up and how 30 years of something can come back to you after being in the show business for so long, after making, cartoons and stuff for kids to watch. Like Fat Albert was one of my favorite cartoon shows. But I feel like if you're going to, sit there and you're going to basically, have. Oh, sorry about that. I'm trying to flip my thing around. And you're gonna basically, cause a lot of commotion over a celebrity, knowing that, how does Raven Simone feel? The one that played in Everybody Loves, the Disney show. She was a little girl on that show. So, it makes to put thoughts in her head too that she has to see that publicity and see see that stuff. But I feel like if you're going to sit here and you're going to make a big incident over a 30-year charge, then that means anybody can get locked up for an old charge, and anybody can get thrown in jail for something crazy and ironic as that. I mean, I just saw on Facebook today they were taking his star down in Hollywood. Now come on now. I get the man did something out of line 30 years ago, but no one forced him to put coke to his nose and have women come into his room knowing he's a married man. That's my biggest thing. If he's a married man and he knows better and he knows that he's gonna get caught or he's gonna get in trouble. Well, for one, he's already cheated and committed adultery. Even if he did, he's already pretty much screwed that in the end of his marriage. So that kind of went downhill as well because you've already did two things wrong. One, you were doing legal coke in a hotel. Two, you brought women in there, so it's a pretty much influence, even if these women were underage. Now, that's the story. Were these women older or were these women younger that he supposedly claimed he raped 30 years ago? Now, the Eddie Griffin story I watched on YouTube, I kind of get there's a lot of deep detail in it. Bill Cosby is one of the best, greatest actors I've ever known, and I adored him. But I want to say that this is just a hoax, and people are just bullcrapping with it. But if they're actually taking down his star, and he has been trialed for it over 30 years of what he did then, and to what he did, what goes on now in our new law and our new justice system, which I think is a bunch of shit, anyways, because people go to prison for murder and don't, and they didn't even murder nobody, and then you got guys that actually murdered people that go to that get away with murder. So it's kind of like you sit there and you want to associate you want things to be copacetic. You want things to be the way they are, but at the same sentence, you feel like it's not going to go anywhere. The trial's going to keep going on. Well, this is a lot to take on Bill Cosby. The man is pretty much in the shithole. And a lot of people think it's messed up. A lot of people of opinions think Bill Cosby should be in jail for doing that. But it was 30, if it was 30 years ago and back in the 70s, the laws are different from what it is in the 70s and what it is now. And if you do your homework in history, a lot of that back in the 70s, people were doing all kinds of drugs, from shrooms to meth to cocaine to heroin. I mean, 70s was what they call the straight hippie, you know, 10 years of 70s, the 10 years of 70s from, 1970 to through 1979, all those 9 years he claimed, that he did. Why do people want to sit there and dog on a man that's been in the show business for so many years? Like I said, I idol Bill Cosby. What I don't want to believe that he actually did it. I don't want to believe Bill Cosby raped the girls in that room for being accused. That's like saying OJ killed his wife, but did he really kill his wife? Did it's just allegations and and stories of the publicity of paparazzi and the media and the Buzz show and I'm sure it's all over the View and they're talking about, oh, I know they ate on the View, and the Let's Talk show, which used to be called the View. I know they ate that up. Like, I know they brought that up with fucking all of this, all the people on the talk show, they wanted to bring that. I'm sure it was on 60 Minutes. I'm sure that was one of the biggest stories out of 30 something years that was brought up to Bill Cosby and being charged for sexually assaulting someone and then getting charged for it. It's just, it's not right because the man is already at an age to a point where he's pretty much retired, and now all he's doing is just sitting back on this money. And he's like, you know what? I'm a billionaire. If you want to accuse me of raping women 30 years ago and the charge being brought up now because they chose to come in my room and do coke, well, then guess what? YouTube and around the world, Bill Cosby, I don't know really what to say about this whole situation other than the fact hopefully it blows over. Hopefully it gets to the point where you feel that it's gonna be an issue down the line with Bill Cosby. But I feel like if Bill Cosby was a bad person, which he's not, I feel the man was brilliant at his shows. I feel like he did his job. He did it good producing, and then he did good with Raven Simone. He did so much in his history of acting, and I'm telling you, I can't see him doing something like this. It's not right. It's not humanity. And to me, if there was evidence on the table of something 30 years ago, why wasn't it brought up then in the 70s? Of course, the laws were, I don't think, accurately, and our government was any different. But at the same time, where do you get off accusing of a man that's probably, I believe Bill Cosby's almost in his 60s, almost 70s, I believe. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up again. But the man is at his time to where he's just ready to relax and he's ready to leave people alone. He's ready to just, if he's out doing stuff, he's ready to do him. If Bill Cosby really did something to those women, and if he really caused a mayhem upon it, then guess what? Let me tell you, that's his own fault and his own guilty conscience eating inside of him. But if the man didn't do a thing and he was harmless, and that if it was shown, but we all know how paparazzis are. We all know how the media is bullshit and just wants to put dirt on somebody. That's like the incident with Roethlisberger and the girl at the bar. Supposedly, Roethlisberger took a girl into the room and, according to the media and according to the ratings, and raped her. How in the really? I mean, Roethlisberger is a six-time Super Bowl champion and it's got enough money to where he doesn't really care about something like. But I think the woman was just trying to get off and get money out of Roethlisberger, and supposedly I heard the charges were, I believe, dropped because they feel like she was lying. So I don't know where to really turn with this. There's a lot of stories about Michael Jackson being rapes children, and he molested some boy or or something like that. Or it's just stories after stories after stories after stories. That's all it is stories. But at the end of the day, where's the hard fact evidence of showing that you can prove an innocent man being charged for charged for rape? You can't, because no matter what you do or no matter how you do it, why would you charge a man of a 30-year-old charge back in the 70s? I don't understand it. It don't make no sense. YouTube, I appreciate the subscribes and the views. Please view me more about this story. I wanted to put my input of how I felt about the Bill Cosby, rape charge and the allegations and the charges that was put on him. But why would you sit there and accuse a man of something that was so old? So nowadays, people are just getting pulled off the street for charges that are so old, and they're getting arrested for it or accusing of something. That's like walking down the street, and you're going your places, and you're doing your own thing and everything, and you're sitting there. Oop, I am so sorry, my phone kind of flipped. And you're accusing somebody of something. Like, that's like saying I walked down the street and I put a bullet in a guy's head. Did you hear any gunfire? This was happened behind closed doors when no one else knew but the girls that were in there doing coke with Bill Cosby, knowing that he was a married man, so they should have known better off rep not to go in the room. And anybody in the common sense of mind would tell you not to do that. But I just wanted to put it out there in my segment. Please like my views. Thank you guys. I appreciate the one view I did have, but this is a matter that I will be discussing more on my channel. So please prescribe me, and I appreciate it, YouTube. It's late. I know I look like crap, but it's one of those mornings of ugh. But thank you, YouTube. I just wanted to put my input of how I felt about Bill Cosby, and hopefully I get likes and comments and people understand what I have to see on the news and media, which half the time I feel like is BS. But thank you, YouTube. Select my subscribers, and please select me as a like. Thank you.